This video is about the different kind of expenses and its impact on our personal finances. But even before expenses, something which is more important that comes in our life is income. Income is nothing but the source of money which comes from a business where we work and earn the money. This is called as active income. When the money inflow comes from some of our investments, say house rent or dividends from stocks, mutual funds, then it's called as passive income. By and large, most of us have only active income, where we work for somebody in office or we have a business, we spend time in that and we earn money. However, if passive income exceeds our expenses, then we become financially free. So here I have represented income as a bar chart, and over there comes the expense, which is the use of money or something which consumes our income. Note the direction which is opposite. The direction of the arrow of the expense is opposite to that of income, which means that expenses reduce whatever we earn from income. The income what we don't spend through our expenses goes towards investment, and the return from investment gives passive income, what we saw in the previous slide. Say for example, you are earning 1000 rupees and you expenses 700 rupees per month and you save 300 rupees. After a year, this 300 rupees at the rate of 10% can bring you a passive income of 30 rupees. So that is the passive income which comes from your investments. The thumb rule is one should have minimum 10% of their income as investments. If you are somebody who is already doing it, or somebody who has a higher rate, say 20% or 30% into investments, then you are really doing a great job. It's to be noted that we don't have much control over income. Like whatever salary we get, that's fixed, unless you decide to switch your job and you get a 20% or 30% hike. By and large, the salary or the income is fixed. But expenses, we definitely have some control. That is what we are going to see in the rest of this video. Based on the bar chart which I introduced now, I'll take you through two scenarios. The first one is where you spend all your income. That is, your expenses is equal to income. So in this case, there is no investments, and since there is no investments, there is no scope for passive income in future. There's an entire life of financial dependence. Means you earn money, you spend it. Again to spend, you need to earn. So that's a cycle. Earn and spend. There's no financial independence possible. The next scenario, a still worse scenario, is your expenses are more than your income. So obviously there's no investment, but there'll be more borrowings. So because there is no investment, you don't get a passive income, but because you have borrowings, you need to service the borrowings in the form of repayments and interest in the future. Such a model or such a life, while is okay, like only for 3 or 4 months your expenses are more than your income, that's quite okay. But on a long-term basis, such a life is not sustainable. Controlling expenses is easy to be said on paper, but difficult on a reality. You need to control your expenses so that you have something that is left for investing at the end of the month or end of the year. So let us understand this expense part a bit more in detail. So to control the expenses, you need to understand the different kinds of expenses. There are 3 kinds which I'm trying to discuss in this video. The first and foremost is the mandatory expenses. This takes the highest preference from your income. Means you need to attend to it first because they have a due date, and most of the time it is non-negotiable. Non-negotiable means you cannot reduce the amount nor postpone the payment date. And if you don't do it within the due date, or if you pay lesser, there are some implications. Like there is a termination of some service or penalty or a health crisis. So if you look at the examples, it will be a bit more clear. Say you have a loan, housing loan EMI. You need to pay within the due date the amount, else you know what will happen. Your house will not be with you. Same goes for credit card payments. So there is a due date which is not negotiable, and the amount is also not negotiable, and it takes the highest preference. Whether you eat it or not, you need to honor this commitment. In the case of housing loan EMI, a little moderate version could be the insurance premium, where you need to pay your annual premium. If you don't pay it, the policy will lapse. And the same goes with the utility bills, be it your internet or electricity or your water bill, power bill, and so on. These utility bills come with a due date, and if you don't pay within the due date, there's either a penalty or there's a termination of service. Then comes the education fee for your children, maybe. You need to pay on time so that they issue the books or your children are permitted to go to the school. Then there is something called as out-of-pocket medical expenses. Though you might have a health insurance, not everything is covered by health insurance, and you need to pay for some of the medicines, like a periodic medicines or some checkup or whatever. And if you don't do that on time, there may be a health crisis. And of course, lastly comes the taxes. You have to pay the taxes on time, else you have some penalty. These taxes could be either the business taxes or the advance taxes that you need to pay on your as part of your ITR. So this goes for the mandatory expenses. Maybe after whatever is left post the mandatory expense comes the living expense. These are basically the needs or the daily livelihood expenses. These are negotiable to some extent but cannot be completely ignored. So the money what you spend on your food, groceries, your daily needs like dresses, books, magazines, your commutes to office and so on, all fall in this category. I told you that it is negotiable to some extent. Like maybe dress, you can postpone your purchase of dress for a month or two. Or in case of office commutes, if it is expensive to go by your own car, you can carpool with somebody, or you can go in public transport and so on. Or you can cancel the books or magazine subscriptions. So to some extent this is negotiable. And one suggestion is, what amount you save as part of retirement corpus, say PPF or NPS, whatever you're saving as part of your retirement corpus, that also ideally should go as a living expense, because I don't treat that as investments, because these are money which you're saving for your future living expenses. The third and the last one is the discretionary expenses. These represent our wants or our desires and basically tied to the luxury expenses. These expenses are completely negotiable. Life goes on without it. You can still comfortably live even with this, without these discretionary expenses. And this is a huge bucket, a lot of items, and mostly around entertainment. The first one may be the club memberships, your visits to spa, gym, gifts to somebody, party expenses, vacation where you travel to some other location to spend time for a few days with your family, your jewelry, movies which you watch on theater, cable, OTT, your hobbies, the money spent on your home interiors, high-end mobile, all that. So basically when you see all these items, you still can live without it. Even if you don't buy this month, your life will still go on. Even if you don't buy next month, the life will still go on. So these are all part of the discretionary expenses. Now let us see a few common scenarios. I don't know for anybody if mandatory expenses can completely be part of their expenses. Means you pay your home loan EMI, you pay all your utility bills, and your income is over. Maybe there is somebody, but that is really a disastrous situation, because for your living expense you need to depend on somebody, or you need to have more borrowings. So this could be exceptional situation, but a more realistic or a healthy situation is where your mandatory and living expenses together account your income and expenses. That's a reasonable and a healthy situation. And most commonly where I have come across is the third situation, where people are trapped into the discretionary expenses. They clearly don't know between their needs and wants, due to which they spend a lot on discretionary expense and even get into a debt trap where their total of mandatory living and discretionary expense exceeds the income whatever they are earning. So what is the solution for this? So the first and foremost is to track your expenses. Simply not, it's tracking your expenses simply not by what amount you spend for what item, but also categorizing them as mandatory living and discretionary items. You do this for 1 year, and I can challenge you that you will have a lot of surprises. You might well end up in a situation where discretionary items forms the major part of your expenses. And fortunately or unfortunately, discretionary items the only place where you have maximum leverage, which you can even cut out completely, and some leverage in your living expense. Once this is properly known, then you can control, or you can have a tab on your expenses such that something is left over as investments post all these three expenses. Thanks for watching the video. If you have any comments or queries or opinions, please do share in the comment section. If you're interested on more such videos on personal finance, stock investing or time management, please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.